Fox News liberal Jessica Tarlov back on the Five and shutting down her MAGA co-host propaganda that they are attempting to spread, this time on the topic of Kamala not doing a news conference. Very specific, and it shows how the goalpost has moved to just continuously try to attack her, seeing as she's now done multiple interviews and also spoke with reporters multiple times after that was the original thing she wouldn't do. So let's see how Jessica defends this, and we'll just jump in with the needed context as always.
We have seen a huge increase in the number of things that she is doing. I'm not saying that it's enough or that this is full tilt, but it's very clear from what's been put out into the press and people that I've spoken to in the orbit that there is a plan. Now, will it work? I don't know. We'll find out on November 5th. But so far, she continues to climb in the polls and to get good news, to have huge fundraising moments, to start besting Trump on categories where he was way ahead of President Biden. I mean, from the NBC poll over the weekend, she's now 9 points up on who represents change. Undecideds are ticking up in terms of her favorability. She is doing things like the local ABC News interview in Philadelphia. She's on Wisconsin Public Radio today. She is zeroed in on the swing states where she needs to go. And I think that she has, in a lot of ways, learned lessons from past campaigns. Remember, in the autopsy was written about Hillary Clinton's loss. She didn't go to Wisconsin. Kamala Harris isn't making that kind of mistake.
She's doing a lot of things better than Hillary, and her campaign is obviously being run the right way in this unprecedented fashion as she keeps gaining support despite it as Trump keeps bleeding it. But this is just another goalpost move, so MAGA has to never concede any ground. At first it was, well, she won't do interviews. She's too scared and isn't smart enough to answer the question. Now she's done multiple local radio, mainstream media, sit down with Oprah. She's regularly talks to reporters. She does local news station as well, focusing in on the swing states that she needs to win, which when she's trying to consolidate her campaign in just 100 days rather than having the normal length after having to step in, I think this is a smart strategy. And again, it's being reflected in the polls. She goes where she needs to have this effect. She talks to voters in these crucial states and let them know more about who she is. And her campaign has signaled more events, more interviews, more things like this to come. So she has no need to try and do just what MAGA is calling for because it's Republicans. Because as we've seen, when she does it, they'll just take whatever clip they can to say she failed and then move the goalpost to the next thing. They can't even admit that she crushed Trump in a debate, so they're hardly like arbiters of truth. So why should she do a Fox News interview, especially when Trump would never do one on MSNBC? And if he did, he would spend the whole time saying, you're just fake news.
And Donald Trump is 78 years old. He's running circles around her. He's all over the place, going wherever he needs to. And I think it's just, again, we'll know at the end what works and what doesn't, but I think that it is because she's scared, she's afraid, and she's not confident, and neither is her team.
Donald Trump is hardly running circles around her at all. I mean, like, just look at the debate and how that went. And while he spends his time golfing, Harris and Walz are in all of the swing states, reaching out to crucial voters. Trump has been going to deep red states, wasting his time in New York, while Harris is in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia. She's doing local radio in all these states. She's, again, talking to the voters, while Trump won't even do an adversarial interview. And when he does, he gets asked a non-favorable question and spends the entire time just attacking the person who asked it and not responding to the question. He'll only do softball interviews on Fox News. He doesn't talk to voters. And when he's at events where people do get to ask him questions, he rambles incoherently without answering like he did when he was asked about childcare. I would love to know where he's running circles around her, as his support has largely remained the same this entire year. And she's been doing nothing but surging in the polls to where she now leads in the electoral college map and leads in most the average of all polls. And it's hilarious that she's still saying Harris is scared, because first it was, well, Kamala Harris is too scared to release policy. She knows that'll be the end of it. And then she does. Now it's, oh, well, she'll be too scared to talk to reporters. Then she does it. And then it was, oh, well, she's too scared to do sit down interviews. And then she does it again. Do we notice the pattern here, right? There was a brief time where they said they tried to paint her as actually scared to debate Trump. And we all see how that went, right? Now it's, well, oh, she won't do news conferences. How specific do we have to get? Next it's going to be, well, in all her interviews, she's sitting down. She won't do an interview standing up because she's scared of her height deflecting voters from voting for her. It's a bunch of nonsense. And it's literally just one thing to the next, exactly like that with these people. While in the middle and on the left, like in actual democratic spaces, nobody even cares. Like, this is not a real problem. Like, people who watch her speak learn about the issues she talks about. They learn about her policies. They watch her do these interviews. They take in the information. It's the right trying to create this narrative and get it to stick with her voters. But like every other attack line, I mean, it's just not landing. Like, remember when DEI was the attack and how quick they had to give that up? And then it was what was it? Oh, well, she doesn't have experience, but then they had to give that up because she's got 10 times the experience as Trump and JD Vance put together. So it's just a bunch of malarkey, again, my new favorite fill-in word, to kind of continue an attack on her when they know that nothing they've used thus far has stuck. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that can interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button. I mean, why haven't you already? Leave us a like or even comment on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.